Right. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the July edition of the Athens Motion meeting. The Motion Commission works with staff, elected officials to implement our bike and pedestrian master plan. Unfortunately, our camera for the room is glitchy, so we can't see everyone's faces, but everyone's here. The record of the folks in attendance. And we'll be sharing the screen most of it. So, right, on to our agenda. First, I will do roll call. Lauren, Art,
Here.
Teresa, I think is away traveling. Randy,
Here.
Alan may be late. Ed,
Here.
Lane.
Here.
I think Gabriella sent us a note about missing tonight's meeting, but we do have a quorum. 2, 3, 4, 5, just barely. Nice. We have our committee member, Aaron Redman is here. He's part policy and projects. Daniel, Katie, Jason here. And Daniel, before we get started, do we have any public comments?
Nope.
No public comments.
Do we have a public comment? Okay, no. Answers that.
Hello, welcome. All right, so on today's agenda, we'll do a couple updates about the Safe Streets for All roadway safety improvement survey. The deadline's coming up. Maybe we'll talk just briefly about where T-Splosh 2026 is. Our major item is about plan revision. We have Tool on the line. Looking forward to hearing from y'all. And then we'll move into our staff updates. And Teresa made a note about tabling the watch for dogs. So I want to make sure that I bring that up. Any tweaks we need to make to the agenda? All right, with that, I will entertain a motion to approve our agenda for July. If Art, can I get a second?
Second.
From Ed, all those in favor? Opposed? Right, next is our minutes, which are on the folder. This is from our June meeting. Zoom in a little bit. Plan revision, T-Splosh 2026, regular updates. Any changes to our minutes from June? I will entertain a motion to approve our minutes from June.
So moved. Second.
First from Ed, second from Randy. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those are our minutes. Okay, first item on the agenda as part of our general updates, Safe Streets for All roadway safety improvements survey outreach. The page of the survey is linked on your agenda. The deadline is August 3rd, and I asked Katie if she would be willing to give an update and talk a little bit about how Athens Motion can help. And Teresa has been working with Katie on this and trying to spread the word. So I think we're going to have a little bit of a final push. It sounds like we've been getting some good responses.
We have, yes, we have a second survey out that's online. And we've gotten almost 300 responses, which everyone's happy about on our team. And Teresa has been putting up posters with the QR code on that. And I think she sent you all links if you want to share with your networks, or we can find the ACC Gov social media posts if you want to share them, so we get even more responses and even more buy-in for our safety action plan. I don't know if you all looked at the survey, but it actually shows pictures of all the different safety countermeasures that our consultants have been proposing, and kind of test the waters on how people would think about them, about having them in Athens. So yeah, if you haven't already, we'd love for you to share the social media posts. And we are going to update the mayor and commission on that in September and do a couple of demonstration projects this fall, and then the final safety action plan should be done in December.
Great.
What else am I forgetting? I think we have some near miss cameras that will be installed. We have a lot of good data that they've put together for us on our high energy network and types of crashes.
So you all will you'll give a presentation to Mayor and Commission, and will we get a version of that?
We certainly could send these draft.
We can, if there's room for an agenda, or if y'all want to do a first pass with us, we'd love to hear it. Or if you want to do a deep dive, it makes sense.
Thanks. Yeah, they actually have just updated the website, which has some good graphics and things, which might be a good starting point. There's a draft of the high network, and some other key deliverables are already up there. So we'd love to hear feedback on that. I think it's my email address. Back to you.
Questions for Katie?
When does the survey close?
August 3rd. Question.
Which is how many days from now? Let's see.
Weeks.
2 weeks, okay. So y'all take the survey if you haven't already. Share it with some folks if they haven't seen it. Yeah, I'm really excited. I love hearing the word demonstration project in the fall. Yeah. So that's great. Yeah, thank you for your hard work on that. And thanks to our chair, Teresa, who has been inexhaustible, it sounds like, in helping.
Absolutely.
Okay, next item on the agenda, real quick update about T-Splost 2026. And I will turn it over to Randy, who's on the advisory committee. How's it going?
Well, Alex Sands made the presentation at this month's work session to the Mayor and Commission. They essentially just did a lot of thanking to everyone who participated and made a few comments, but nothing specific to the projects that were recommended. And they'll be discussing it further in the next work session, which I believe is in August or September. I think it's September, yeah, thank you.
I was gonna ask about that date. There's so there's a formal presentation for the Mayor and Commission in September.
No, the presentation of the projects that came out of the committee was this past July 15th.
Yes, but that wasn't officially on the agenda, right? Because it wasn't,
I'm guessing it was, since Alex was.
because there wasn't an opportunity to comment on it.
Ah,
Yeah, I saw on the page, it said something about a September work session. So is that not right?
yeah, that is where the Mayor and Commissioner are going to do more discussion around.
Okay.
Yeah, this was mainly just Alex presenting the process, given, you know, what the 89 million some odd thousand, the projects that were recommended out of the committee. And as I say, there really wasn't much discussion around individual projects or what should be ranked. Should watch the work session. It's interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we had talked about sending a letter from Athens in Motion that just kind of lists what AIM projects are on the T-Splost. We might still send that. I might also, because it's a little, there's not a lot of capital projects on here, but there's things that touch on the AIM plan, like the Safe Routes to Schools project, which staff submitted and it is currently on the list, as well as Vision Zero. And these, of course, they overlap with the AIM plan because the roads wouldn't be in the AIM plan if they were super safe roads that already had, you know, no crashes and kids could ride their bikes on. So there is some overlap there. So we might mention that. I'm still kind of trying to get my head around that, and I was curious as like where the committee officially was, because I was trying to figure out what that meeting was about. That sounds like we'll still be able to vote on a letter together, which is what I would prefer to do. Any questions for Randy about T-Splost? All right. Okay, time for the big event, which is plan revision. We have Tool here. We have Connor and Byron. Are y'all ready?
We are ready. Thank you, Lauren.
Yeah, good to see y'all again.
Nice to see y'all again.
Good to see y'all too.
Thank you. Apologies for not being there in person. We were having a little internal side chat over here. I'm really enjoying watching Scott and Bike Athens all work. So just providing such ambiance to the meeting.
I'm sorry, we can't provide better than Scott. It's not a competition.
That's fine. Scott, I was in Bike Athens. I don't know. It was pre-pandemic, so at least like 7 or 8 years ago, and the space has like grown and changed so much. So awesome to see. So
It's way better now.
yeah, way better. Great. Athens Emotion Commission, thank you for having us. I'm going to let Connor go ahead and queue up the slides when he's ready. He's going to be giving the bulk of the presentation. I'm introducing it. I am here as kind of the senior representative for Tool Design. I met many of y'all when we were there in person in April. Apologies for not coming tonight in person, but I do appreciate it for midsummer chaos and family schedules and everything else. And happy to present our slides virtually to y'all and get some feedback and comments. Henry Cohen sends his regards. He's out on paternity leave officially for the next couple of weeks. And we'll ask him to maybe share some baby photos when he's back. But he's been kind of watching from afar and weighing in a little bit. And then related to Tool Design parent leave, Hillary Essig has returned and she'll be back full-time in August and is sliding in to help deputy project manager. So we've got a lot of folks who love Athens kind of weighing in at different points. And Connor and I are excited to represent Tool and share an update and progress on network development and really get some feedback from y'all. This meeting is really about showing our recommended changes, our recommended shifts and edits, but get y'all's local knowledge and help support a great plan moving forward. So Connor, do you have the slides ready? Okay, great, thank you. And if we can make them big, sometimes that works on web presentations and sometimes it doesn't. I'm going to walk through, let's see, give that just a second. I'm going to walk through a few slides to kind of introduce where we're at. And then really pause and turn it over to Connor. He's been doing a lot of the staff work on this, and he knows Athens-Clarke County even better than I do as a frequent visitor. And we want to really tap into his expertise. So Connor, go ahead and start moving us through the slides, and then let me explain what we're doing, where we are, and then we'll hear about some of the network changes.
Can you see that?
I can. We can see the slide master, like the default view.
Hmm.
You can probably just walk us through that way. I think it's fine for everybody else. Okay. Unless in the room can't see super well.
Can y'all see this okay?
Yeah. So brief review of kind of where we're at, how we got here, recap some of the things we heard, and how we've approached the network development, this really core plan of the Athens Emotion Plan, and then go into some of the details, both how we as a firm approach the big question of network development. And network development kind of sits between what we could do on every road in the county, which may be worthwhile in the very, very long term, but really establishes some priorities for a big, great connected vision while still providing a lot of guidance on specific work programs. And I love hearing the SPLOST update and some other elements of how this really moves into fruition. And then Connor's going to go over the proposed network update and ask for y'all's feedback. And I think probably the most important slides in this are the edits that we're making, the things we're suggesting to remove or things we're suggesting to add, and the reasons we're doing that. We really want to get y'all to weigh in on that. So I'm going to walk through the review of how we got here very quickly. So, or you can just keep moving us forward. The goal of today, this task, this portion of the Athens in Motion Plan and the network development update, the road network, street network that's going to cover Athens in a really well-connected, all ages and abilities network, is not necessarily the goal for the ultimate plan. We have other goals that y'all have suggested and we have edited around connectivity and equity and safety and comfort and some other elements to that too. We didn't want to get into the full goals tonight for time and focus. But the goal for the network development is related to all of those things. A great bike network achieves all the rest of the plan goals, or a great active transportation network for walking and bicycling achieves all the other things the plan wants to achieve. So what we are looking at for tonight is the high level outcome of the plan that we achieve through the network development to provide a well-connected network that provides facilities available for all, regardless of age, ability, income, or race. And that's both connectivity, so making sure we're covering a big portion of the city and county, a network that is usable and it's really generating new traffic and new trips. And then it's equitable and it's reaching different parts of the city and county and providing an all ages and abilities network, which really, interestingly, as that guidance evolves, it steers us towards big multimodal streets and saying, where do we make big investments that really tie the city and county together? I was going to say tied a room together for any Lebowski fans, but really ties the county together in an effective network. Next slide, Connor. So as we get there, I think we're very fortunate that Tool Design did the 2018 plan. So anything that was omitted, is up to a combination of us and y'all locally. But what we want to do is start with that very good plan and say, what's working? Prince Avenue being a great example, but what's really achieving success and results and building an all ages and abilities network for Athens? What's broken, and we don't mean necessarily unworthy, but what is either not feasible or, more importantly, what's not as much of a priority now if local priorities have shifted, if we're hearing different engagement feedback, if we are looking at new or changing local landscape. We want to figure out what can we take from that, and then also what is missing in same regards to changes and updates and shifts and priorities. So those are the three questions that we kind of gave Connor as we sat down to look at the network. What's working, what's broken, what's missing, and how do we make changes from that? So if it's working, we want to keep it in the plan, really elevate it in priority and say, this is something that we need a long-term consistent perspective to achieve. If it's broken, we're suggesting pulling some stuff out. And if it's missing, we're suggesting adding some stuff to it. And that is really the element that we need y'all's feedback on tonight and by early August. Okay, Connor, next slide. And from that, we as a firm and as a team like to build what we call a vision network. As I mentioned, it is not necessarily all streets, and it is not necessarily just the ones that are going to get funding, but it's the sweet spot between that says what can be funded and what can be pursued over the course of grants and years to really achieve a great network that we need to keep working on throughout the life of the plan. So with that, the vision criteria, the vision network, kind of technical, kind of theoretical, kind of wonky, create vision criteria that support the plan's goals around connectivity, all ages and abilities, crossing barriers, and this is an important one for us, really looking especially at the Loop and Loop 10 and some of the river crossings connected to the Greenway Trail network to say if there's a major barrier, interchanges, major arterials that we need to cross over or major river bridges that we need to cross over, how do we span those barriers to really ensure that the network achieves a lot of different connectivity around, not just inside the city, but around the rest of the county as well too. And then finally, equitable opportunities, and Connor will go over some of the data in this, but Athens really has a long legacy of looking at equity and looking at disadvantaged communities. And we want to honor that and say both transportation network can really tap into some great opportunities for people, regardless of their household income or access to vehicles, but also building projects and providing a project list that's respectful to communities that have been historically underinvested in and say that they are involved in this plan and they're going to have access to resources in the same way that everyone else in the county will. So that's where we're coming from, trying to build a network that meets these criteria and balances them and keeps them achievable and not necessarily fiscally constrained, but at least fiscally reasonable. So I'm going to mute myself and hand it over to Connor. He's really been doing the staff work, and we're excited to hear y'all's feedback from here.
All right, y'all, moving on to the actual maps. I know this is what you've all been waiting for, but we still have a little bit more to go. So just kind of reiterating what Byron was saying, is the network that we're going to show you today, it's more than just a potential facility for every street and moves into a vision network. So it includes both easy projects, hard projects, things that may get done, things that might not get done, but they're the important ones. And so that's what's built into this proposed network. And don't worry, you're going to have a chance to look at this in much more detail once we get you a link to an online map. So if you can't see it super well on the screen, I just wanted to be able to show the whole county nice and wide, but this is the proposed network. It's a culmination of your feedback from the workshop, the updated goals that we have, and network themes. So let me move into the data that built this plan. Again, you will have another opportunity to take a look at this network at the end of the presentation, but then again, on your own time, you can scroll through everything, get in big details, and we want all your comments then as well.
Hey, could you put it on full screen or the click the bottom right icon?
Yeah, let me make sure that works real quick. Can you see this?
Yeah, but we'll see
It's
more of
showing
it.
the main screen.
Yeah, very bottom of your bar.
So on the split screen, it might be that it's showing up on the wrong screen
Okay.
for the display. We're
Okay,
seeing
because right
the
now I'm just
version.
seeing, sorry, I'm not used to WebEx.
Now move to the right. Other way. Problems, but
Put it in presentation.
When you click presentation mode, is it popping up on your screen versus?
It is popping up on my screen, but not
That's-
on yours.
Yeah, it's a WebEx issue.
if you can switch that would be good.
Daniel, do you have any recommendations here?
That's all right. I mean,
In the top ribbon there, it says use presenter view and there's a box that's checked. Are you able to uncheck that box? Not sure if that's.
I don't see any ribbon on my screen, to be honest.
So exit out of your presentation,
Therein lies the problem.
and then that should bring you back to where the slides are all listed. Slide 1 through 28. On the left, and then under monitors.
I'm not seeing what you're seeing, Daniel, I don't think.
Do you have two screens?
No, I'm just on one.
Okay, so go over to slideshow.
Okay.
There's home. You just clicked home, click slideshow. Now over to the right there, monitors, where it says monitor automatic.
Yep.
Uncheck the use presenter view.
Okay.
Then now try to start the presentation.
How's that?
Nothing.
Nothing. Cool.
right. Yeah, can you pick
Let me see if this works. How's that?
No.
By second.
No.
Maybe we should all just go there and he come here.
Okay.
1 second.
Daniel, I can also link you this PowerPoint real quick. And if you want to pull it up there, I don't know if y'all have a big screen going and we can do it that way and I can just cue you through the PowerPoint. Happy to do that as well.
Yeah, let me, that might be the easiest.
Okay.
Is there another monitor that you can switch from primary monitor? In that drop down?
It just says either automatic or primary monitor, and I was in automatic, so I switched to primary to see if that worked, and it didn't.
Where's this screen? Because we could zoom in.
Yeah, and I could try just zooming in if I can.
Yeah, see, there's the top, this is 100%.
Let's see.
Thanks, scoot it over.
So I think, yeah, Lauren fixed it for us and we're just zoomed in on that portion of the,
Is that better?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
Okay, great. Thanks y'all for helping with that.
yeah, thank you. I know it's.
I'm not sure fixed is the proper verb, but we'll call it mitigated.
And like I said, you'll have the opportunity to pull it up on your own screen and zoom in on everything really good. we're going to get you a link to a felt map that's an online interactive map that you can scroll through and see everything in detail. Tonight's just about getting an idea of your initial feedback and kind of showing you through the data of how we got to this network. So here is the whole thing, but let me move into the data of how we got here. So we started with existing facilities. That's these gray areas. And so a big part of this was connecting gaps between the existing facilities and trying to make sure that none of those existing facilities or proposed facilities end up leading to nothing. And then moving on to barriers, to echo what Byron was saying earlier, Loop 10 is a big problem for Athens in terms of getting people through it and over it and under it. And the rivers with the greenway system, the same thing. And then something else with Loop 10, when we move further into this, a lot of facilities already exist around Loop 10, going underneath them in terms of bicycle and pedestrian facilities, but none of them feel that safe. I don't know if you all have the same opinion, but taking a look at each one of these individually, I think is going to be really important moving forward, as opposed to just looking at Loop 10 as a barrier on its own, but treating each one of these spots as its own case, like Prince Avenue and Oglethorpe. The Oglethorpe, that's one of the ones that does currently have facilities right now, but it still doesn't feel great. And so figuring out how to do that one better individually would be good as well.
I mean, the greenway crosses are great.
What?
I mean, you said there aren't very many good ways to get across. One exception to that is the greenway trails. There are a few places that they cross that work really well.
Yes, absolutely. But more focusing on an inroad. And as you can see on this network in orange here, there is the Greenway network is not included that. So we're kind of, I'll pop back to this map real quick. We have the network as its own thing right now, and we're going to figure out as we move on how to incorporate that into the AIM network. But for the most part, this proposed network focuses on street improvements. So anything from sidewalks to protected bike lanes. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Well, I guess I'll just I mean, it makes sense, but I feel like the greenway and associated trails are so critical that should be a real hub, basically, of how the rest of everything works. I mean, they work well, and I think that we should take as great advantage of them right now as possible.
Absolutely. And it'll be a key part of providing connections for the rest of the plan as well. But when we're talking about capital projects and infrastructure, it's a little bit easier to focus on the roadway because the funding is coming from such different places.
Sure.
Yeah, ultimately, the Greenway Network plan drives that trails plan.
No, I understand. I'm not talking about messing with the greenway. I'm just talking about in terms of building a network, I feel like networks should connect to the greenway as much as possible.
Yeah, and that's like in the plan. Unfortunately, it sounds like they're changing the plan a lot. I haven't been updated on what that network will look like. So Ed, if there's a way that you can get a draft version of that network, if they're changing the data of like where trails are going to be, then like it would be really helpful for us as we're planning out. Basically, if they're changing the Greenway network, no one has communicated that to me of like what they're planning on changing. So
That shouldn't have to come from Ed. I feel like that should come from leisure services staff, right?
yeah, maybe. Maybe.
I can tell you that the Greenway Network Plan does not involve any changes to the Greenway. It's talking about, where we want to grow, parts, things that we want to continue doing, and then the need for supporting leisure services in the maintenance and upkeep of the Greenway.
So to your knowledge, there's no changes to the lines, trails?
To my knowledge, there's no changes to the lines, which is where your 100-mile number just baffles the hell out of me.
Yeah, I can get that exact if you want, but.
Sounds like no news is good news and Fool has accurate data that they're working with.
Cool.
As far as we know.
Well, we we've seen 3 or 4 different instances of accurate data.
Okay. Okay. All right, well,
I'm not sure which of them are more accurate than others.
gotcha.
Whatever version is approved by Mayor and Commission in 2020, the graphic update in 2020, that's the accurate data. There should be
It's 5 years old.
yeah, it is. But if it's not approved by Mayor and Commission, then it's not considered.
Well, official and accurate are not synonymous
Well,
by a long shot.
accurate, I think we could get into semantics. Accurate would be in response to on the ground, probably lines of like what's existing versus proposed. But in terms of like a proposed network, that would be whatever Mayor and Commission has approved or accepted.
Well, and the point of the work that we've been doing is to present them with an updated network plan for them to approve.
Okay, and so if there are no graphic changes to that plan that you are proposing, then we can assume that that's the same proposed network from 5 years ago. It's all kind of, I think, a side discussion because ultimately this is in response to what you were saying about the Athens motion plan. And the answer is that we are using the most up-to-date data that we have from Leisure Services about the Greenway Network Plan and what's proposed there. And this is connecting to that.
My comment was really just based on the presentation saying that we were going to start with the streets and then we're going to put in then we're going to consider the network. And I interpreted that the street network was going to be developed without reference to the Greenway, which is obviously not true.
Yeah, it's kind of like with us being the transportation department, we start with the streets and then we look at that connectivity for the Greenway as one of the next standpoints, if that makes sense. But there won't be any lines in the Athens motion plan for now that are outside of our right of way, because anything outside of the right of way is not our department's.
That in fact has been the fundamental distinction between these two commissions is that this commission focuses on what can be done in right of ways. Okay, whereas the Greenway Commission is unequivocally not right of way intensive.
Right. I guess I'm probably not being clear. I just want to, for a person who gets around town, I'm always looking for the way to get to the Greenway. And so if we can focus on how to get people to the Greenway safely through right of way, I think we'd accomplish quite a lot.
I just want to say that, yeah, I agree. There's just a lot of ways where there's no greenway. You know, I used to live on Tallahassee, so there's no greenway there.
Yeah.
So I know like going under the loop, you know, there's just, it's not safe right now. So we do need to
totally
focus on-
agree. When it's feasible,
Sure.
I think that effort should be the point of connection, I think.
I think we just want to acknowledge the Greenway is our low stress transportation network along with the Firefly Trail. And we don't want to pretend like it's not there.
Yeah, we can provide entry points without crossing into it.
Yeah, I think this is good for them to hear. I think I do want to allow Connor to move on with the presentation.
I'm not trying to derail it.
But yeah, no.
Oh, no worries. This is great feedback, and we'll definitely talk more about Greenway connections as we move forward. That's something you'll be able to see when you zoom in on those maps later. A lot of these polylines do include connections directly to greenways and ensuring that the on-road facilities are connected to and from greenways. But yeah, thank you, Lauren. Moving on to some more data that was involved in making the network. This was the high injury network that was provided to us. Some of the key corridors here that in a high injury network, for those who don't know, are the most dangerous corridors in y'all's roadway network in terms of all crashes. So this is not specific modes to bicycle and pedestrian, it's all types. And some key corridors here are Prince Avenue, Lexington Road, North Avenue, and Atlanta Highway. And each one of those existed in the previous network, but not for the entire corridor or some of the more important connection sections. And so we added those in as well for this network. And then moving on to some more population related data. These are the propensity of short car trips in Athens. So this is broken down by census block groups in the areas with the darkest green. show you where the most car trips that are 2 miles or less were made. And so this network has some of the most density in those areas to reflect that and hopefully transfer some of those car trips into active modes.
So one more question. Could you go back one?
To the high injury network?
The one back, should millage be on that list for key corridors?
It is, I think.
Am I missing?
Yeah, millage is highlighted here in red. It just didn't make it into this smaller list.
Looking at the words, I can't read the map, so.
Yeah, just checking.
Yeah,
Okay.
Absolutely, millage is on the high injury network.
Corridor list is what I'm looking at.
And once they get done putting the sewer lines in, they'll put millage back up there.
Okay, and then some more population related data. This is bicycle commute share already that exists in Athens. You can see here we have 5 points, Normaltown and Forest Heights kind of representing the biggest areas of bicycle commuters, but we want to make sure the network is built for them as well. And so density reflects that there. And then moving into poverty, and this poverty measure is the percentage of population below the poverty line for a single person household in Athens-Clarke County. I believe that's around $21,000. That might be a little bit changed. That's based on 2023 data, so that might be a little bit different today. But we want to ensure that people who have no other transportation options have access to the active transportation network. And similar to that is vehicle access. So this is population percentage of people who do not have access to a vehicle. And so we want to ensure that they have access to the network as well. And so density reflects that here in these areas. And so we're going to move on to some change tables that show some specific corridors here. Most of these existed on the 2018 plan, but not for the entirety of the corridor. And so I've included those sections kind of here more specifically of why or why not they needed to be added. And then this is perhaps the most important slide in this entire presentation for you all to comment on, specifically on Prince Avenue, Hawthorne, and some of these areas that I feel like really should have been on the 2018 plan, and for maybe reasons unknown to a consulting firm, they were not added, or for some reason on the ground conditions don't allow them to be added. So here is a great time for y'all to comment if anybody wants to chime in here.
So these are additions, is what we're looking at.
Correct. These did not exist in the 2018 network, and these are additions that will hopefully exist in the proposed network for 2025.
Yeah, that Loop 10 interchange, Prince Avenue, absolutely. Yeah,
and that's one of the biggest ones that I think the people of Athens have been asking that one for a long time, but it hasn't made it onto a plan, or for some reason it's been kept off. I know there's some political reasons there that are unbeknownst to me, but.
Yeah, the intersection with Oglethorpe to Prince, right? Oconee Street from East Broad to Oak Street, Oak Street to Lexington Road. So that's that whole section between from downtown to the Waffle House.
Yeah, and that would be a Greenway connection point as well.
Two,
yeah, that's right.
Firefly.
Yeah. Right. Thanks, yeah. North and south. Oh, yes, Thomas Street. Yes, we had another fatality on Thomas Street.
Yeah.
Within the past week. East Campus Road, we hear a lot about the disappearing bike lanes on East Campus Road from when we table with students.
Yeah, those are off.
South Millage from Riverbend to Whitehall. Yes, that's not on the, or it is on the plan. It's not on the plan at all. That section, yeah. Completely absent. And then yes, Whitehall Road from ACC Border to Barnett Shoals. That's right, that was not on the plan. Epps Bridge from Atlanta Highway to ACC border. Oh yeah, I don't know what to do about Epps Bridge. And MLK,
Where does East Campus and Thomas start? Is that at,
5 points.
at the downtown.
At that 5-point intersection.
again?
At the East Broad intersection.
Okay.
Yeah, I call it 5 points because there's 5 roads, but I guess it's not.
Yeah, it's a little confusing, yeah.
Are you talking about the one downtown? No,
Thomas?
A little bit south.
it's
William Street or.
Yeah, isn't it where it comes across from Lumpkin? And then curves around to where the Blind Pig used to be social work is?
Right.
I think it's that intersection, isn't it?
Street.
William Street, O'Malley.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the river. I think it's right there because we have.
Because there's actually 4 streets that intersect there.
We have some points there we refer to as Thomas Street.
Yeah, so staff training and development's on Thomas Street, yeah.
Oh, North Thomas, South Thomas, and Baldwin, the cutoff for East.
Baldwin, that's what I was looking for. Yeah.
Baldwin becomes Williams anyway.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, it's four streets intersect, Baldwin, Williams, Thomas, East Campus. Yeah.
It looks like Baldwin extends to Stone Mill Run and Williams is from Stone Mill Run to Oconee. Which I think that's new. I don't know.
It's not very, it's.
It's wrong in Google.
It hadn't always been that.
These are great additions.
So I guess in terms of, I don't know how you plan for this, but like the South Millage Avenue from Riverbend Road to Whitehall, I totally love that. I would love to see that enhanced, but it also, there might be a parallel effort at someday in the future with UGA and the train tracks along there. And I'm not sure when that will become clear what it is, but it seems like if it's talking about putting in, many millions of dollars for a road project, when a couple years later, an extension of the trails kind of.
Yeah, forgive me, but I had kind of assumed when I read that was the railroad track that we were talking about.
I think this is only our right of way, is what they said. So this is only our right.
And that's correct, but that's exactly why I'm asking you all these questions. I was unaware of that plan with UGA to do anything with that railroad track.
Well, I don't know if there is a plan.
It should.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say move forward with this because it's a big unknown.
I mean, we have the UGA expert here, so.
Speak authoritatively, please.
Sure.
Yeah, there's been a lot of discussion for many years, but I don't hear much movement on it currently. It's been a while since I've had any meaningful discussions about it.
And of course, until the construction on the track sports complex gets done out there, there's probably not going to be any decisions made about anything, so.
Not as far.
Yeah.
We should remember that, but where this is helpful in the AIM plan is if we've identified it as important as part of the network and UGA is like, not sure what they're going to do. And then they're like, well, this is an AIM plan, maybe there's an opportunity for partnership or something like that. So we can't have that partnership if we don't have this officially.
I would love to say it's super important. I'm just saying before there's a ton of money put into just that.
I don't think there's any danger of us jumping on this project with so many unknowns soon. Even if this plan were to pass tomorrow, I think we have other things that we're a little bit more in control over that we could take action on hypothetically. I mean, a lot of these are also GDOT corridors and stuff, but we're not going to jump on anything or put down any concrete that we're going to have to tear up without consulting with the university or GDOT. So Connor, what else do you need from us for this list? Did you want to know if there's anything here we're missing or anything we disagree with? Like what's helpful to you right now?
I mean, that was some excellent feedback about the railway of other projects that might be going on in these areas that we're unaware of, or design constraints that we're unaware of in these areas that would keep these projects from happening, or political reasons. I know that's a lot of what happens in Athens with Prince and Millage, of why nothing has happened there yet.
Maybe another question I have, because I haven't seen it, is I don't know what exactly, the bridge project for Oconee Street that GDOT is working on. I feel like in my mind it has a multi-use path on the south side, but maybe I'm making that up.
Okay.
What is it?
The bridge project for GDOT's bridge project we're starting now for Oconee Street. Oconee Street, whatever.
Todd, do you remember with the Greenway connection across the Oconee Street bridges as part of that bridge replacement? We can ask him during our staff update.
Great, and y'all will have access to this list as well, for more comments. And these are not all of the additions; these are some of the highlights. And so you'll see kind of everything more so when you get a copy of that felt map, like what I was talking about.
So just if you want still some more details.
Daniel, can you hear me now?
Oh, now we can hear you.
Sorry, I had my mic set up for a Zoom call. So say that again about the Oconee Street.
Oh, just the question came up about with Oconee Street across the bridge, not under it. Is there any greenway going across the bridge replacement?
So the the bridge includes a multi-use trail across it and everything.
Okay, is that south side? South.
Yes, it's on the side that Easley Mill, that parking lot's on.
Okay.
Across from Dudley.
Across from Dudley, yes.
Great.
Cool.
So
Love
yeah,
that.
because we're tying the greenway at Easley Mill trailhead into that multi-use trail along the right of way. It's part of it's part of the project. Basically there was going to be a 60-foot gap between the Easley Mill trailhead greenway and this multi-use trail. And so that was the reason that big power pole, it took a little bit of time to get it shifted because we were asking Georgia Power to move that pole so it wouldn't impact the ability to make that connection.
Great. So, okay. So people are we have the over connection, we have the under connection.
Correct.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that'll be really nice. But
Love that.
But one point related to all of this for Tool is, and I guess this is just a question, like, do we mean for Oconee Street, do you mean a connection on Oak all the way down to Lexington Road on that actual busy?
No,
road?
it will not connect all the way down.
Okay.
Well, I guess that's more of a question for Tool, like where we're talking about the project, Todd, Oconee Street here.
Yeah.
From East Broad to Oak Street. So basically like the portion that is being constructed right now as part of the bridge replacement, that's like a portion of it that when the project gets funded, if you think of Athens in Motion plan as like an overarching capital projects plan, within that time, we could get development along there. Someone could build a new Publix on Oconee Street and build a multi-use path along that frontage. So when that project actually gets funded, then we would look and see like, okay, now what facility,
Right.
what bike facility do we want to have along the street? There's these 3 sections that have multi-use path. Maybe we keep that.
Right. And I guess my point is, at least when this exciting under Oconee Street gets built, or under Oak Street, whatever it is at that point, the greenway path. So in the not too distant future, the stuff that's already under construction, you could take this multi-use path on Oak and Oconee, go onto the greenway underneath that street over to the greenway on the other side and hit Lexington all without any traffic at all. Mm-hmm. So I'm just, that's one example of using the greenway network and not having to get all the way down Oconee to Lexington, just as principle. I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't love all of it, but.
Yeah, and if you lived on South Peter Street, like you would have a different route to get there. If you lived on Cars Hill, you know, that could get you there if you can take the back streets to get to that trailhead. Like ultimately, whether or not we put, that's kind of the question here, right? It's like, do we want that corridor to have bike access along it? And if we don't need it to have that frees up like a project that could be somewhere else in the network. But that's kind of what this whole felt thing will be. When we send y'all the map, you can put your comments on all the various segments and say, oh, this street where y'all are removing one, I think it should be kept and you should remove this one instead. Because we're not trying to add hundreds of miles of like.
I'm gonna go ahead and move us on to the next slide, everybody, because we will get in the weeds on this on our own.
Yeah.
And remember, like facilities are TBD, determined.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So all of these are just ideas of different roadway segments that will have some sort of facility. Facility has yet to be decided yet. That'll relate more to prioritization as well. And so then here are the segments that we removed from the 2018 network to further prioritize the additions and other parts of the network. The majority of these are rural, low traffic roads, kind of on the east side, and then Belvoir Heights is already a pretty quiet road. And with the 2018 network updates, Prince Avenue, Oglethorpe will kind of accommodate for Belvoir not having a facility on it. So thoughts and feelings, concerns here, anybody?
Other than it kind of cuts off the entire east part or south, I don't know, I can't envision the county, but that section of rural Clarke County.
East side.
East side, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think one thing that's jumping out is between Whit Davis and Robert Hardiman. I think between Whit Davis, I think that I should say between Southeast Clarke Park. Just because from Whit Davis to Southeast Clarke Park, that would be good to retain a bike and pedestrian project to get to the park.
Okay.
There's also an entrance to the park on with Davis, so it's,
Yeah, it's just.
I know what you're saying. The entrance is right
Yeah,
there.
you'd have to go through there's no multi-use path within the park. So it's kind of, there's two different programmatic elements in either side. There's also the tennis center that isn't connected to that, but it is with like a natural surface trail.
Yeah, and our future land use plans are not prescribing like any development or major hubs in these parts of the counties, right? I don't remember seeing anything like that.
There's well, not in the county, right? Robert Hardiman has a potential just over the county line. 40 or 50 homes, but.
And just to be persnickety, there's no reason at all why you shouldn't say Morton Road entire segment, because Morton Road begins at Lexington and ends at Belmont.
Noted.
So yeah, the other half of Morton Road is Robert Hardman.
That's right.
This still so when we take things out of the plan, obviously the plan is not meant to hold every road. We still have our complete streets policy that could kick in when we're doing repaving, right? So we would look at Morton Road, Robert Hardman, when they come up for pavement and be like, okay, what's the context? It's rural. At this time, the recommendations are rubble strip and a side sort of bit or something like that, right? Staff? Yeah. So I'm saying even if a road is not in the plan, if it comes up for pavement maintenance or pavement coming down, or there needs to be work on there, it not being in the plan does not preclude our complete streets policy from taking into effect, looking at the context of the road and what facilities would be useful, right?
I'll let that happen.
Oh, does that Go to the outside.
Emergency exit.
You know,
Uh,
as many meetings as I've been to since becoming part of this, I have never once heard the fire trucks.
No.
Yeah, that's neat.
Letter one.
I think you're right that no, it would not preclude like in those kinds of situations that even if it's not on here, that doesn't mean different countermeasures would follow in those other projects or other funding sources.
Yeah, and we were in the planning meeting, it became clear that that wasn't happening most of the time, that these things fall through the cracks and people just start doing repaving, like on Baxter or
Well, that's not a repaving project, that's a public utilities project. It's a lot of nuance, but there are projects that do fall between the cracks. Repaving specifically, we have a policy, I think it's the 3-laning policy. That is in our work plan to an unofficial work plan to update as part of the project's policy committee. That policy guides the repaving of it. But the answer is yes, like Jason said. I mean, there could be any number of reasons why bike facilities can be built along along a roadway that might not be included in the Athens Motion Plan. Ultimately, what we're getting at is the Athens Motion Plan is not the 100-year plan for where bike facilities will be and won't be. It's the capital projects plan, for the mid to long range allocation of funding toward those capital projects. So you have like a set of projects to look at a network that you want to build, and then we get funding, preferably through a T-SPLOS or something, and then that funding and then those projects are prioritized, and the tier ones are funded through that mechanism.
Any other comments on these roads being removed from the plan? I don't see anything controversial about this. I'm open to hearing someone's objections. But I think that's fine.
have no objection.
Great, thanks y'all. And so kind of moving on to just another form of feedback. Do we feel like this is capturing the connectivity demand for Athens, and did we miss any important segments here? I know it's hard without the full map right in front of you to kind of answer this. So just be thinking about this as you fill out that felt map once we get that to you moving forward, okay?
Okay.
And then moving forward into kind of what's going on next. So right now we're at this kind of second stage of the vision network, and we will be moving into a prioritized network after we get y'all's feedback in that felt map, and then moving into priority corridors, and then looking at individual projects to then prioritize even further. And so the big takeaway, here's the whole map, and y'all will have access to this sometime tomorrow. I'm waiting on some tech stuff to come through on our end to get this to y'all. So apologies that you don't have it already, but you will have it sometime tomorrow, and you'll be able to put little dots anywhere you want and leave a comment with your name on it. I think you can do it anonymously too if you don't want to leave your name. Totally up to y'all. But any and all feedback is appreciated. You will not hurt my feelings. So I just want to hear what you have to say.
Wonderful.
And with that, that is the 2025 proposed network for y'all.
Okay. Well, thank you, Connor. Like that's looking great. I think that y'all are capturing what we talked about during our workshop together. So then to understand the role of what everyone is doing next, you each individually will have the opportunity to comment. And that will, where are those comments going? Because we did talk about me like synthesizing things at one point. Am I still doing that, or are y'all doing that?
I think that's a bit more of a Daniel question of y'all to work out kind of what your schedules are and what your time commitment is willing to be. in terms of that, but we'll be taking a look at everybody's question or comments. But the more kind of summarized and boiled down they are to hard themes, the easier it is moving forward for sure.
So Connor, I'll echo that. The one thing we ask is that we not get conflicting comments back from the entire commission. So I think Lauren, we would ask you as chair to consolidate and rectify any like big changes. We're more than happy to facilitate ongoing conversation and help work through some of the priorities, especially removals. There's a practicality question to that, but there's also a bit of a political question in determining priorities and where the county wants to spend limited money and resources over the next few years. If we need to have a follow-up conversation, we're happy to do that. But really, we'd like a consistent set of comments back and would ask the chair to kind of help facilitate that.
Right. Okay. So maybe my question is more of a technical one. Like, is the commission putting things on a document? Am I looking at a map with data points? What am I working with?
I think so. The felt map that they're going to send out, the easiest mechanism for everyone here to comment would be to use that.
Okay, so we all use one source.
So everyone puts their comments into felt.
Okay.
I think, and that gives us a record of it too. And then ultimately though, Lauren, if you want to save your comments, unless you want to engage in like a conversation, if someone's like putting in a comment and then there's a counteracting comment to it and you want to provide your comment to it or a counteracting comment, I think ultimately we just want like a cleaned up like set of Lauren comments. And that'll be, so if there's a discussion back and forth on, Morton Road, then like Lauren's comment is, we would like to keep Morton Road in there. And then that's the one that will.
Okay, it's the ones that are like on the map.
Right? Does that work for y'all to have all the comments on the map and then just know that Lauren's comments are the ones that y'all will have as final?
Yeah,
so felt's a relatively new tool in general and for us as a team. So we'll work with whatever we get. And if we do get comments back from everybody, Daniel, we'll look at them. If we do need clarification, we'll just convene whoever we need to, either the commenter or Lauren and Daniel, to kind of make a final decision on that. We'll work through it. It's not a big issue. I do think, Daniel, it's important for us to get documentation of all the comments. We need, if should there be some sort of contradiction, we need some sort of clarifying direction on it. But that's also kind of uncommon too. So we need to document all the comments that everybody feels like their voice was heard and any disputes were kind of rectified. So y'all get all the comments on there. If we need to do a little test run or clarify anything, we'll revisit that as we go.
So,
Ed, I have a question.
Randy just pointed something out to me. I'm looking at this map and I think I'm seeing how we've got 100 or 200 or 300 miles of greenway. On all of these approved greenway network that me as part of the Greenway Commission have never even freaking heard of. I mean, now some of it I can understand, I see we're following the Oconee River down, along the county edge of Oconee, and that's the greenway because it's the riparian habitat. But there's just a whole lot of places where I'm seeing approved greenway network that, wow, it's like Santa Claus came.
Yeah. The Firefly Trail is included in there. Other urban trails that are not within the Greenway Trail Network. I think probably the approved Greenway Network is like the approved Greenway Network plan. And it includes, this map includes both riparian trails, which is under the Greenway Commission's purview, and trails like the Firefly Trail, the Athens-Line Trail.
The Greenway trails.
Yeah, which
are to be distinguished from the Greenway per se.
Right. So Firefly Trail is not a Greenway trail.
Right.
Athens-Line Trail is not a Greenway trail, but because there is no master trails plan for Athens, those trails are shown network plan because that is our one and only guiding document for trails outside of the right of way. So that's more of a leisure like the Greenway Commission doesn't necessarily say, we're gonna remove the Firefly Trail because we don't like it, or the airport trails, we're gonna remove the airport trails because the Greenway Commission doesn't have purview over that. It's not.
Oh, no. This has got nothing to do with that. I'm just saying you got a whole bunch of new stuff out there I ain't never heard of.
The more accurate thing would be to say, multi-use trail plan,
Yeah, because I'm sorry, when you say approved Greenway with a capital G, network with a capital N, that's much more specific than what I see in front of me here. So I can't wait to have access to the felt map.
Cool.
I will definitely provide commentary.
There's a bit of confusion around the Greenway network in general in the community, and I think,
I think I've got a fairly decent frame of reference on it.
Yeah, I mean, like the Greenway network is not even trails, right? It's a corridor.
Yeah.
When people say Greenway, they could be talking about Firefly Trail. They could be talking about the Greenway Trail. It's like we as a city decided to use the same term to talk about two different things, and that confuses everyone, including like us.
Me.
And me. But
So,
ultimately, this is the Greenway Network plan trails that are in the plan and approved in that plan.
So Daniel, what I'm essentially hearing is that a better term for the green lines that we're looking at here would be the approved shared use path network of a conglomeration of all of Athens-Clarke County's shared use path projects.
Well, except for the fact
that right?
No, yeah, that doesn't work either, because when you look at the path that follows the county edge on the south side, that's the Oconee River.
Yeah, that there's on the plan is to build a multi-use path along that.
As I took it, the Greenway network has always been, the approved network has always been aspirational. It's always been what we would like to have in the future.
All right.
But
So this goes back to my first comment about all of this, is that it seems crazy that we're not more integrated with what's going on in that network, because here I see two networks, and we should be able to take advantage of bits and pieces of each to get around. It just seems like we are not.
Well, and part of it, it's, I know I've railed on this before, but one thing we all just gotta remember is the Greenway has some trails alongside it so that citizens can appreciate the Greenway, but the Greenway ain't the trails.
Right, I guess, okay.
And it would be great if we could rename the Greenway Trail.
Yeah.
Something else.
Yeah.
The Greenway Network. Right. The Greenway Commission has never wanted to.
Yeah.
I think to answer your question, Connor, approved multi-use trail network would be more appropriate, because shared use path, we actually have shared use paths within our right of way. I think multi-use trail is a specific designation within leisure services. That would probably be the most appropriate. Approved multi-use trail network.
I would have much fewer objections to that.
You can have an asterisk, and then you could do the full explanation. No. Did that answer everyone's question?
I guess I'm still frustrated because I see like Timothy Road. Okay, Timothy Road would be nice to get that better and easier to bike or walk on. But if I see a potential in the future approved Greenway network that's not that far from it, like, are we just doing parallel activities where we're hoping that we get there someday? Or
we are doing parallel planning activities until there's funding designated, because that Greenway trail that goes along the river there could be 50 years out.
Yeah.
And we actually already have funding to build the Timothy Road multi-use path. So now when the Greenway gets funding to do a section of this, it might be more beneficial for them to come up from the river onto Timothy Road and take that trail down until, like, there's multiple spots where they could, like there's another savings over here on Riverbend Road, where we have our Riverbend Road network and they're showing a Greenway network.
Right.
And ultimately, this is a bunch of people's backyards. If they just come from the end of the Greenway and connect to Riverbend Road, then you can get down to the botanical gardens pretty easily for way less money.
Yeah, that's
so. Yeah,
we need to make our existing roads safer though too. For all your
no question. That's why I'm here. I
Right.
want that to happen.
Yeah.
I just, but I know that there's a limited pot of money, and so I want to make sure that we put that, or that we recommend that to be spent where we're not going to have those kind of connections. That's really the point.
You know, I think the whole point with all these planning documents is like, if we want options at all, like, we need to just have them down, even if it is duplicative. And I'm gonna move us on because I actually still have procedural questions about how I'm supposed to like collect y'all's information, because I heard two different things. I heard one, I'm supposed to synthesize what y'all say. And then I also heard you guys want, like, Tool wants every comment. So I'm trying to figure out what that looks like and how we can best serve them.
We can talk further about it, I think,
Okay,
in the following days.
right. So I want to, and also there's probably a deadline to this. So I'd like for them to know what their deadline is, so I know what my deadline is. So Tool has what they need when they're ready.
Connor, do y'all have the felt map? It could be the old felt map. I can also pull it up. Could we just open that and show them what adding a comment looks like? And I think that'll help come up with a plan.
Yeah, absolutely. I can pull it up real quick.
Yeah, I know we're a little bit over time with this discussion, but I think that it's good here, and I think that we've had a good
time from
chat about what should go in the
Can y'all
plan.
see my screen?
It is still the presentation.
Great. I'm gonna stop sharing and then share again, okay?
Okay.
All right, how's that?
Perfect.
Great. So here is what y'all will have access to. This is from essentially a previous version of the draft. And here we can see that both Jason and Daniel have made comments. I have made comments. Henry has made comments. And so the way I see this going would be that everybody has access to this page. Everybody can make comments. And then Lauren, your little name will pop up here, and I will be able to read through your comments as I skim through everybody else's, but your job will be to kind of synthesize all of the other comments, but they will all still be present. Daniel, were you thinking something like that?
Yes, if you could go to add a comment, and then people can see, because there's
sure.
Maybe I'm kind of curious to get the feeling here. So when you add a comment and you type it, oh, it's different for you because you're logged in.
I am logged in. That is correct.
Let me see if I can pull up Felt, and I will share my screen, show everybody what it'll look like.
Okay.
Do this. So, when I go to add a comment, you click on comments, and I can click a spot. Last time we did this, it gave me an option to write my name. I'm just gonna do test. Okay. You write your comment, and then it comes up with name and email. So this is what labels the thing. Lauren, if you would like to participate with the rest of the commissioners in writing comments for the discussion, we can do that. And then for the official comments, maybe you go back in and you write Athens Emotion Commission as the name, and then you can do your same email as the email, and then they will know to use the Athens Emotion Commission name as the official comment from the commission. Do we agree? Does that sound good for everybody?
But they can still see everyone else's comments.
Yes. And we'll have them on record, including yours, and that gives you the opportunity to also provide input in those discussions and not feel like you have to always be the overarching voice or something. I don't know.
And so we type our name and email every time?
No, I think after you do it once within that session, it retains that. So it gets, like, if you're sitting down for a couple hours to just pop out some comments, you don't have to type in your name every single time.
Okay, before I get into deadlines, just want to check in with folks. Do y'all feel like you know how this works?
Yeah.
Okay,
Do you want us to use our private emails or ACC Gov emails?
I believe it should be your ACC Gov. email.
ACC Gov, and when you may have to open the comment button here to drop a comment. So, you know, if I just click right here, this is how I navigate around. Now I can click on this and it'll read the comment, you know. But
Okay, so Tool, y'all still there? When do you want the synthesized version of this?
I believe we had a conversation with Daniel that August 4th would be the date, so it would give everybody a few weekends to go through it. Daniel, does that sound right to you?
well, and I think I wanted to bring it up here with everyone.
Mhm.
I know y'all do this voluntarily.
Yes,
So-
that's only 2 weeks for, okay, so that would only give everyone really like a week and me a week to synthesize.
Yeah, because that's kind of the bigger question is like, how long do you need to synthesize? If you'd like to have a week to synthesize comments, then we need to find out how much time everybody else wants to have to put comments in.
Can we negotiate, can I get, what if we give the Athens and Motor Commission 2 weeks and then me a week, and can we just make it be on a Tuesday, like August 12th?
I have no problem with that. Daniel, were you trying to get this to a different kind of meeting before
Yep.
then, or what was your motivation for the 4th?
Honestly, I don't remember.
Okay.
We, Clark County School District started back on the 6th, and so we thought trying to get people
Mhm.
getting their comments done before school starts, that affects people, but if y'all are good with them doing it until the 5th, and then Lauren's deadline is the 12th, that works for y'all, it's good.
Does everyone feel like they can get in there and put comments within that time?
I'll send out emails too, and I will send out reminders, because we do have some commissioners not here, so we'll get the access to the map. I will remind y'all in a little bit less than a week from now, and then I'll give a final reminder like about 48 hours before. And then if somebody is still getting their comment in like Wednesday the 6th or something, it's probably fine, because I'll be like synthesizing stuff.
Yeah, and to answer your question truthfully, I couldn't tell you at all until I tried, but I'm willing to try.
Okay. Great. Anything else from Tool, from Byron, Connor?
For me, this has been a fantastic discussion. I appreciate y'all's time tonight, and look forward to seeing the comments and reviews on the felt map. That's really going to consolidate a lot of stuff and give us great feedback for giving y'all the best network that you need. So thank you.
Thank you much. Thank you much.
Thanks, you guys.
Yeah. Great. Just putting things in my calendar. All right, so we'll move on to staff updates.
And Lauren and Daniel, if it's okay with y'all, I'm gonna exit and go get family dinner ready. So thank you again for the time tonight.
Sure, send me a plate, please.
Of course, it's gonna be probably just chicken nuggets on a Tuesday night, but
Sounds great. I'll
so
take it.
great. Thank you all.
Bye. Okay, turning it over to staff. I know we're running a little bit behind. I think it was good for these discussions to play out. So thank y'all for your questions, and comments. Todd, you out there?
I am, sorry. Give me just a second to get it up. Let's see. Share my screen. All right, are y'all seeing the screen?
Yep.
Okay, Firefly Trail Phase 3, they've started putting concrete on the ground. They started at the Moss, Road, the Athena, what is it, Athena Way, Moss, intersection, and they're heading back towards, Rannick Road is what they're doing right now. So it's moving along. The Greenway Trail expansion project at, along MLK. We're just having the, open house, the PIOH, coming up in September 4th at the Linden House Community Center. So more to come on that. And then I don't know if you've been on the Oconee Street Bridge, but they are starting to do demo work and they've narrowed it down to 2 lanes now. So it's under construction.
Cool.
And then, of course, it's the expected completion is 2028, and then the trail that will go under the bridge will be slightly after that. So, right. So anyway, it's just dependent on that timeline, of when it'll get completed. So, and that's all I have.
We can see here in that picture, that's where the Maltese path is going to be across the bridge.
Right.
Yeah, where that person is at right now.
And they're connecting from the corner, from the crosswalk to your parking lot or across the front of your frontage.
They're the entire length of the frontage.
Okay, so it'll switch to existing sidewalk at the edge of the Easley's Mill trailhead.
It ties into that Greenway connection that we have.
Yeah.
Dudley over to there currently. So, and I've asked Derek to send me the layout plans again so I can share it with you, Daniel, just so that you'll be able to share it with Tool, just so they can kind of see those limits.
Cool. Great.
So, anyway.
Thank you, Todd.
Yep.
Transit?
Hello, everybody. So Tina and Jimmy here, the transit planners. Randy can't join us today, so just us two. So it's coming up to 6, so we're gonna give you a detailed but concise update. The last time we spoke, we shared that we are doing a very, very minor service change, coordinating with UGA Transit for August 11th. My counterpart is going to give you a little detail about that in a little bit. Besides that, good news to share is that we're fully staffed, which is amazing. And the next holiday that one will be operating is going to be Labor Day. Jeremy is also going to give you a quick update on the bike racks that Athens in Motion gave us. Thank you, Daniel. All right, Jeremy, you're up.
Hello, everyone. Oh, y'all got muted.
Can you hear us?
If you gotta keep yourself unmuted for Jeremy.
Hello, everyone. I am Jeremy Burnett, the other transit planner with Athens Transit. So to give you a brief update of things in our woods, we are currently working on our August 11th service change, which also coincides with UGA's as well. This service change includes 14% increase in service levels, returning to pre-COVID service level. So key adjustments are earlier start times, later end times. Also, we will be increasing frequency on routes 5, 20, and 12 and 24. 12 and 24 will also include service into the evening. Also, there will be a consolidation of time points, which will improve overall reliability and efficiency within the service. As Stephen mentioned, we received 5 bike stalls from Bike Athens. We have 20
25 stalls.
15 are guaranteed. 3 will be reserved for the East Side Library, Georgia Square Mall, and the Oconee Street parking lot once construction commences. And we have 2 spares. Also, noted is we will install them as well as maintain them. The criteria we used for picking locations were high stop level ridership, proximity to schools, access to health and social services, as well as locations near the Greenway. So that's all we have for you.
Look at that. That was like 3 minutes. Any questions?
Trying to find the big map of all the routes, because I know it exists somewhere.
Ooh, do you have a version of your draft that you can share, or is that still internal?
Me?
Not to put you on the spot.
Yeah, I can send the PDF.
We'll throw out the caveat that this is a draft, I think, not official.
Okay.
That way,
But you can find our system map on our website at acctransit.gov.
Yes. Yeah, I see the individual routes. I'm trying to find, I was on there just trying to find the big map. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, I found it. Yay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me see.
Any questions for transit?
she's still gonna pull up the map because it's pretty.
Okay, yeah.
Sounds like Daniel's very earnest, so try to hear it.
I don't know if this is still true, but one thing that I got really excited about a few years ago is that there was like color syncing between the transit PDF map, the app, and one other place or something like that. But all the colors, oh, and the signs, like all the colors kind of matched up.
Yes.
And that was amazing to me.
And on Google Maps as well.
Yes, I love that.
Okay. All right. Looks like I can't just attach a PDF.
Can you share your screen?
Yeah, I can share my screen. Sure. Okay. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Amazing. So, there's 3 map elements. So there's going to be the legend here, the fixed route system map, and what's different about this system map from our last one, it's updated. 2, the routes are more simplified, so it's easier for people to read. The arrows are corrected as well, and now we have icons for locational context icons. So that's going to include the school, the parks, public parks that we have, as well as UGA campus area and the park and rides, and then grocery stores as well. And then the other part of the map is the inset, which is this zoomed in area of the city downtown, the downtown. And this is a way more zoomed in scale of all the community amenities, social services, again, the parks and the greenway on this map as well. All these elements are going to be put together with a key of the route name, the color, the service that it runs, additional contact information for contacting and getting in touch with our department or information desk. And I think, yeah, that's it. This again is a draft. Keep it hush hush. Very special Athens edition.
Yeah, it looks nice. I'm looking at the old map now, which also looks nice. But it looks like the lines are bigger, easier to read, and those place markers seem like they'll be really helpful in orienting folks to where they are and where they want to go.
And most importantly, accurate.
Yeah, sure. So, this is important for us as a commission as we're looking at infrastructure is even if there is a facility nearby, if it's far from a bus stop, it may not be serving the ridership. So that's something to keep in mind, particularly for like Oconee Street, which has the Firefly Trail, but there's only a narrow sidewalk on one side and there are bus stops on both sides of the street.
Yeah, and that's why we considered high ridership bus stops to pair with the bike stalls and also existing connections, infrastructure as well. Oh, something also important to know is that with this new map, these gray lines is also UGA transit routes.
The gray line is what? I'm sorry, you got muffled.
The gray line is UGA campus transit.
Okay.
Yeah, so that way, that's new. That way people can see our service areas, certain parts such as like Central Campus, and then Prince, we have overlap service, even on millage. People can understand you can transfer between both systems and both are free. And we have bus stops that also overlap, so it makes it very easy for any visitors and residences to use either system.
Nice. It looks great.
Thank you.
I know we're like living in 2025, but anytime I go somewhere, I appreciate just a good PDF map of a bus system, a trail system to help orient me. Google Maps is great, but sometimes I just want to see it on the printed paper.
Yeah, I appreciate the comments. This is going to be out August 11th with the service change as well. And so we'll also roll out the updated map on our website and route maps, which is the specific route information and schedules.
Nice. Any questions for transit or did you have something, Blaine?
Just wanted to make sure, you did say you coordinated that with UGA Transit, because I know they have some route changes on campus that are gonna be for fall.
Correct, yeah, we work closely with their transit planner.
Great.
Great question.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Now I'm trying to figure out how to stop sharing.
I'll just take it over.
Okay, thanks, Daniel.
All right. Moving on to general TPW updates. We already talked about planner vision. We talked about safe streets for all. Do we want to go into the crash report still?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, would you be able to share? I emailed you.
Yeah, I don't see. All right, so I'm going to be pulling this up.
Yeah, I didn't write up all the descriptions of the crashes this month, but I will send those out shortly. I guess before we start, I did look up the fatality that was just in July. I don't know if you all have already read about it, but it was a motorcycle on Thomas Street. Driver was booked for DUI and homicide by vehicle.
Collision with a truck, wasn't it?
I think just a regular, I didn't see
I
what.
read it was a truck, but yeah, it's a pickup, like assume a pickup,
That's what I was assuming.
Yeah, I don't think it was a commercial vehicle, but
right? 21-year-old driver.
yeah. So yeah, but no, there were no fatalities in June. And our kind of equal distribution, except for that, whereas usually our pedestrians are overrepresented in our serious crashes, June it was actually bicycles. We had 2 serious injury crashes among bicycles. And I guess keep going. I think I have some maps. I didn't get the descriptions for the car serious injuries. Or the pedestrians, but I will send those out. They weren't serious this time. There were 2 injuries among people walking. The bikes, I think that's next. One on North Avenue at MLK was think both the bike and the car were going downhill, heading north on North Avenue. And the car basically right hooked the bike turning onto MLK. However, the bicycle was on the sidewalk and so was marked as at fault. I didn't find any more about that. And then at Prince and Pulaski, the bicyclist was turning left from Pulaski onto Prince and the driver ran a red light. The bicyclist had a shoulder injury.
We, there are a lot of, I think we've had some fatalities over the years at the MLK North Avenue intersection. You know, there's a lot that comes up here. And maybe, do we know, have y'all heard when we're getting the last round of, updates and improvements to Prince Avenue when construction is starting on that? This is something I should be able to report back on because I have not been attending the meetings.
I think everything was approved on consent,
Right.
but I don't know the timeline.
I'll pull it up.
Okay.
Okay. I'm curious because maybe there are some improvements to that intersection. And I wonder, like, maybe they'll help that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to report. Yeah, the year to date, just to keep in mind, our tally, and then I don't have it on the report, but an idea Jason had was to kind of, oh, actually, no, there is a 2025 by month graphic. Oh, no, never mind, didn't send it out. June is a little lighter than all the previous months of the year. Jason had the idea to look up, you know, the crashes by how many days we have in the months. And so it was about 10 crashes per day in June. And that compared to April was about 16, January 15, 14. So yeah, summer's definitely lighter. Maybe when we get our Vision Zero dashboard, we'll be able to compare, you know, year to year. We have trends.
Yeah.
Since summer's always a little lighter. Yeah, that's all I got.
Can you remind me, Katie, the pedestrian fatalities, that includes bicyclists in this?
No,
number?
I could start adding that, actually. I don't think we've had like fatalities this year.
Okay.
Okay,
I just want to make sure. Okay. And it may be.
Separated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great. And they're separate.
yeah, I mean, I could add them to the chart. Yeah, it is. I mean, 5 out of our 7 fatalities are walking.
Yeah. I think I saw a headline that like there have been no homicides in Athens so far this year. So I always think about that, like, you know, people, you know, crime is very important. We need to deal with those issues, of course, but more likely to die on the road, which is why we have a Vision Zero plan.
The private property crash, does that mean private, like based on private vehicle crash, is that?
It's actually crashes that aren't on public roads.
Got it.
In Kroger parking lot.
Parking lots, mostly.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see.
that makes sense. Okay, thanks.
Because we technically can't do much about those, but it's still good to know.
Yeah.
Where they happen.
And not to call out Kroger specifically.
No, I know. Yeah, no, that's not public, so.
It was Olive Garden a few months ago.
Yeah, thank you, Katie. I'm looking forward to the Vision Zero dashboard, and we're still, we're gonna try and work on some version of this that we attach with our agenda in the future, so that way it's out there and available to the public. It's a great resource and great servicer of what's going on our roads, so thank you. Any other updates y'all want to chat about?
They're targeting an agenda item to go on the September, October cycle, I think, for some short-term improvements to the Thomas Street and Washington Street intersection downtown. Some pedestrian safety improvements and curb extensions and stuff like that.
Yeah, so that's right in front of the Classic Center.
Yes, so it's definitely a place that's not going to be seeing any reductions in the amount of pedestrians that's over there. There's also, we're working to get our residential traffic management program for 2025. There are prioritized ranking of all the different streets that are eligible for that program together, and then that's going to be an agenda item as well. That was part of the budget discussions at the end of the budget process, was the commissioners talking about adding some funding to that program. There's such a long list of roads that were eligible, but the funding only goes so far. So they added, I think, $1 million for that program. So that's on the horizon as well. And then, yes, continuing work on the Safe Streets for All plan and one of our other federal grants, the Reconnect Communities, is still in the procurement process to identify the consultant that'll be working on that. So hopefully to have a consultant selected fall, winter.
And is that for the before platform?
Yes.
Protection, right?
That's a planning grant as well.
Right, great. Thank you. Any other staff updates?
I don't believe so. I'm waiting to hear back on the construction start time, so.
Okay. Moving on to committee org report backs. Anything from the corridor committees?
From Lexington Highway, we haven't had a meeting in a while. I guess Derek's been pretty busy. But he gave us an update. He said that they've completed this for the Lexington corridor, the wetland and stream delineation. Schedule a meeting with traffic engineering to review the potential pedestrian crossing locations and the treatments in those target areas. And they have initiated the sidewalk design and will coordinate once the survey is completed. And he said they're wrapping up the trail corridor survey. That's it for there.
Thanks, that's exciting. It's great to see that moving along. Randy, while you have the floor, anything for policy and projects?
At the last meeting, we reviewed memorandum of understanding, MOU, for potentially as part of the request process for the bike racks. After some lengthy discussion, we wanted to see, what other communities are doing. Eric,
Talk to you about it, yeah.
thankfully volunteered for.
Yeah, I've reached out to the micro-mobility coordinator for Atlanta. She's actually graduated of the program that I work for, so I don't know her well, but I know her. I reached out to her last week. I haven't heard back. I've since sent her a LinkedIn message too, but also reached out to similar offices in Savannah and Macon, because I want to try to get some information from them too. Haven't heard back yet since last week, but I will keep trying because both those cities have some type of bike emphasis, and I wanted to see if they have MOUs too for bike rack share plans.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, thank you for that. We're in
something back.
Yeah, so the point of that would be like being able to put bike racks on private property without us having to take on, the county having to take on responsibility, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yes.
Planning is also here in case there are updates.
Oh, yes.
We have to add that soon.
That's it now, unless you had any questions.
Sorry. Yeah, I can add you to the agenda for next time.
Yeah, are there any questions about planning activities, developments? Cool.
Always a lot going on.
Great. Making a note so that way I formally have you on the agenda for next time. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks for the bike rack updates. I have used our bike racks. I and there's so many places that just don't have them. I really hope the MOU can work out. I think we're doing a good thing there.
Yep.
Teresa is tabling at UGA's event Watch for Dogs on Thursday, August 21st. She has a note about that. It'll be the Tate Plaza from 11 to 1 a.m. 1 a.m. Yeah. It's gonna be Watch for Dogs at night. No, it's 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. It would be great if she were not alone. Is there anyone here in this group that knows that they could join? And this, it looks like it's just like a 2-hour block this time.
Yeah, I can definitely. It's on. Talked to her at the last GP meeting. Yeah.
Yeah, Thursday.
I'm actually working that event, but for my work. I have to table for it.
We'll give you a high five.
Yeah, so we'll see each other there.
Same, I'll be in the area too.
Yeah.
With our department.
Yeah, I figured that.
Yeah.
All right, I'll send out a note that, thank you, Randy.
Thanks.
I might be able to make it, but I need to think about my schedule for that day. It's a great event and we get a lot of student engagement at once. So, Randy, you know how it goes, bring your coffee. Yeah. Greenway updates. Ed, anything to add?
Just what I mentioned before we started, that we're in the process of updating the Greenway network map, and hopefully we'll be able to send that up to the mayor commission for approval soon.
Do you have an idea of what agenda cycle, like, or just sometime this fall, or?
I think that we're hoping to be done with it by our August meeting. As in the sense of, we're not gonna work on it anymore, we're handing it uphill.
Okay.
We're all doing public engagement?
That's still being discussed. I don't think it's gonna be a public meeting. I think we might accept public comments for a brief period of time.
Could we see it?
I am certain that I'm not authorized to allow you to see it at this point, but it makes sense that you might want to. Actually, Art, you might be able to do me a favor. And I
just got this turned around on you.
And I did mention 127 pages, but a lot of it's boilerplate. If I were to pass it to you, could I get you to read through it from a non-Greenway Commission perspective and make comments back? And then have the knowledge for yourself?
Sure. By when?
Tomorrow morning.
By the third week of August.
Sounds good.
Don't forget, you also have.
I know.
Arson.
Well, we're taking a 2-week trip on the first 2 weeks of August.
Oh, well, beach reading.
Yeah. It would be good.
Yeah, no, great. That would absolutely help out a lot. Because one of the things we wanted to do is to have people who, with an interest in such things, have the opportunity to take a look at it and give us feedback. Well, I wouldn't need you to be discreet until such time as we've gone through the mayor and commission process, but.
I'm gonna piggyback off that and say, like, if there is a formal opportunity for the Athens in Motion Commission to weigh in, just generally, we would welcome that.
Sure, and I'll bounce that off of Charlie Barrow and see what we can do. I don't feel comfortable in unilaterally doing it, but it does strike me as something that probably ought to happen.
Alan's out, so I don't think there's any big updates from T-Splosh 2023. It's raking in a lot of money. Things are getting done. All right, we'll real quick do a commissioner person round. If there's any announcements you want to make, if anybody wants to say anything, I'll start with commissioners, then go to staff, then public or something like that. Okay, Randy, any announcements, anything?
No, I was just gonna, unfortunately, it looks like Scott left. for those that get an opportunity to attend the movie. Or did you go to the movie or just do the ride?
I did, yes, I
Awesome.
did. It was
At
fun.
the Winterville Cultural Center, they showed the movie Breaking Away, that cycling movie. And also had a little ride before, and there must have been, God, 35 people on the ride. And it was just really cool to see so many bikes tied up all around Winterville. So hopefully we can do more of that.
My uncle was an extra in the movie. He went to IU.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, talked about it back then when they filmed it, so,
Huh.
yeah.
Well, it's a good movie.
Yeah, it is.
It was, that was impressive. Great event. And yeah, I got to use one of our Athens Emotion Commission bike racks. It was great. Ed, anything else you want to add?
Hold on.
Oh, we didn't do an update from UGA. Sorry.
No, I was gonna talk about Watch for Dogs also.
Okay.
You cover that and I'll mention, my staff is gonna help out loading and unloading on the UGA side. So if we need help, if you guys need help, I have some people that can carry some things. For load and unload for that. So, and then also I'll make sure that it's really pushed by the marketing team on auxiliary services from our side. So I'll make sure they're aware that if anybody has questions or students have questions about Athens-Clarke County areas, that we push them over to our area.
Yeah, yeah. Take it. Nice. Okay. Let's see, Art, anything?
Just parting thoughts. I guess that it's nice that things work so well on a local level. As national politics get complicated, this is better and better.
Yeah.
Bravo, bravo.
Thank y'all for the discussion tonight. I'll just, since Scott isn't here, I will add there's a joyride this Friday at 6 p.m. Any people who want to bike of all abilities, learn how to bike around Athens with your friends, all are welcome. Staff updates, we'll go this way. Any parting update? Any parting thoughts?
I guess just a question, for the felt map, is that for staff to also make comments or just for the?
This one is for us. Staff
That's
have
a good
their.
question.
Right.
See if there's a way that we can get feedback from other departments. I think we probably could. Yeah, no, it's
I think somebody from planning ought to.
yeah. So we'll talk about, we'll mention that to Tool and see if it's all right. And if not, we'll find a different way to, Thanks.
Parting thought?
Thank y'all for your time and energy. This is great.
Parting thought?
Prince Avenue design plans are 99% complete and it is entering into right of way acquisition.
I like that parting thought.
Yeah. That's all I got.
Cool. Any parting thought from our folks online, Transit or Todd, if you're still there?
I don't have any.
Hello, this is Transit. Parting thoughts, Jeremy?
No.
None on his end? Well, I'll just leave that comment. Let's do the best that we can, little improvements at a time for a better Athens.
Thank you. Little improvements at a time. Parting thought?
Yeah, good.
We don't get to do that enough, so thank you all for listening.
Connor?
Oh,
I don't know if Connor, are you still there? Do you have parting thoughts?
I just want to say thank you. Thank you for everybody's comments. And I'm excited to hear your feedback on those felt maps. I'll get you a link sometime tomorrow and can't wait to read it.
Yeah, since you're still here, I didn't even realize it. What are your thoughts about, do you think it'd be all right if we also shared that felt map with the planning department and some other key?
Absolutely.
Cool. Maybe transit as well. So we will share it. And then maybe just when you type in your name, add in planning in parentheses.
Yeah, the more feedback, the better. Y'all's staff has the best idea of what's going on in your county. And so seeing those segments of, you might have an idea of something that's been planned there that we don't know about. So that would be wonderful.
okay. With that, it's 6:04. I will entertain a motion to adjourn our meeting.
So moved.
And second from
Second.
Art. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a good night.
Thank you.